Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what am I talking about actually getting done? A brand new book. Yeah, I'm serious. Back in, what was it, March 5th, Friday, March 5th of 2020, I set out to do a 301-day consecutive live stream journey in order to create a brand new book, which I'm calling Nonfiction Brand. Discover, craft, and communicate the completely true, completely you brand you already are. And I've been working on that ever since, every night for, 264 days in a row, with the exception of 2 nights where I had Lyme disease, of all things, and I was actually too fatigued to come down here and actually work on the project. Well, immediately after those 2 days, I hopped back on that horse, and I've been working on it ever since, because I want to upload press-ready PDF files on January 1st of 2021, come hell or high water. And that's what I've been doing. I mean, seriously, for 264 days, I've been down here every single night working on this project, this writing project, in order to get the book done by January 1st of 2021. And it's not been easy, I'll be honest with you. Like tonight, my family's upstairs right now, kind of doing a pre-Thanksgiving get-together, complete with alcoholic beverages. And I had to kind of cut that short and come down here to work on this because I promised both you and myself that I would work on the book every single night in order to get it done. And so that's what I'm doing. So what am I doing tonight? Well, I'm going to go on over to Scrivener, the application I'm using to actually write this book. Hello, multiple Davids. Now, here's Scrivener, the application I'm using to write this book. And you can see I'm working on a section called WYA, WYD, HYDI. Now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually read through this entire section because I need to change it from a blue flag of, yeah, it's pretty much written, to a green flag of first pass, editing, done. It hasn't earned that yet, so I got to do that tonight. So let's get started right away. WYA, WYD, HYDI. Who you are, what you do, how you do it. Let's get this straight from the get-go. Let's get this straight right away. When I say WYA, I suppose I should do the same type of formatting. When I say WYA, WYD, HYDI, what I'm really saying is who you are, what you do, how you do it. This conceptual triptych forms the DNA base pairs for nonfiction branding. They aren't base pairs, though. Forms the DNA of nonfiction branding. Of nonfiction branding. Here's how they play out. WIA, who you are. Robert Allen Zimmerman was a musically inclined youngster born in Duluth, Minnesota. His grandparents, multiple, there were 2, emigrated from Odessa, Russia sometime around 1905. The son of an eclectic appliance shop owner, electric appliance shop owner, and part of an intimate Jewish community surrounded by Nordic Europeans, he had a fascination with the musical styles of the American South. As a college student at the University of Minnesota, he began to find his voice on the folk music circuit. There's a period in there that doesn't need to be there. But only really became the person he was meant to be when he assumed the stage name, a stage name that honored a favorite poet of his, Dylan Thomas. That's when the performer, poet, singer, songwriter Bob Dylan was born. There's a lot more to the Bob Dylan story, and I seriously recommend that you check it all out. But for this book's purposes, let's learn a basic lesson. Who you were born is not necessarily who you are. Robert Zimmerman became Bob Dylan, arguably the true voice of his generation, and someone I've thought about quite a bit regarding personal branding. See more later in the book. Which begs the question, who exactly are you? Do you know how many people have walked this earth who've never, ever even considered asking that question? I'd say the vast majority. That's a painful reality, in my opinion. Why? Because an unexamined life is barely above that of the beasts of the field. Just getting by isn't getting by in my book. And becoming the best you can be requires a deep understanding of who you actually are. This fundamental keystone of your brand is all about the above, knowing who you are so you can be it. And do you know how hard it can be to understand, truly understand, and know? I don't think that needs capital. And do you know how hard it can be to understand and truly understand and know? Let me take you on a digression that really makes the point. A high school friend of mine's father was a high-test attorney in a major Midwestern American city for decades. An equity partner at one of the city's top law firms, he toiled for years, successfully raising a family and making the bank he needed to eventually retire a little bit early, and then he began to live. For the final act of his life, he really lived what I would argue was his best life. How? By playing clarinet in a touring Dixieland band. Now, I'm not qualified and have never even attempted to psychoanalyze the guy, but I know this for rock solid certain. He was a musician his entire life. The attorney thing was what he had to do to fulfill whatever expectations society at large and his family in particular had in mind. But damn it, he was a musician at heart and soul. Thank Apollo, the Greek god of music, he was able to spend the last act of his life living it fully. Not many get to do that, but he did. I contend, as mentioned above, that he was a musician long before law school. But life has a painful way of intervening. Do you think he was unhappy raising a family as a lawyer? No. But do I think he was more completely fulfilled playing Sweet Georgia Brown with the Rhythm Aces in and around Madison, Wisconsin, USA? Hell yeah. My point is this. This guy, were he 100% true to who he actually was, would be all about improvisation, creativity, and deep listening and collaboration. Get rid of creativity, deep listening, and collaboration. That would certainly be true of his days with the band, but I'm guessing it was equally true of his days at the law firm. So if I had to sum him up in 3 conceptual words or phrases, I'd say improvisation, creativity, and collaboration. They form the conceptual foundation for his completely true brand and are something I like to call the key 3. More on that later. His key 3, more on that. WID, what you do. Personal branding does not attempt to communicate the totality of a person, but it should provide anyone who meets or deals with your personal brand a crystal clear idea of what you can do for them. If you're a photographer, that's got to be a solid brick in your nonfiction brand foundation, while giving you the flexibility to grow and change right along with the world around you. In fact, saying you're a photographer might be a little too specific when it comes to technology. One step broader might be to communicate the real truth of the benefit you can provide your customers And what is that value? Visual storytelling. By embracing the idea that you're a visual storyteller frees you up from any handcuffed relationship to existing technology, to existing technologies. Why is that a problem? Ask any scrivener. Back in the days, don't need the C. Back in the days before easy access to printing technology, there was an entire industry dedicated to the art and craft of copying documents by hand. The title of the person who created those copies, and even went to school to do so, was scrivener. Is that... okay, I gotta look up dictionary. Okay, so it's lowercase. Printing technology was scrivener. And what happened to the entire well-paid class of office worker who performed that once critical task? And they went the way of the Iceman, wheelwright, and pin setter. No longer relevant, no longer needed, no longer employed. Do I think photographer is likely to join that list of obsolete occupations anytime soon? No. But why would you want to tie your core occupation to a specific technology when you don't have to? I am a writer. I can write on paper, in a specific language, and a number of styles and forms, and for a pretty wide variety of channels, examples, print, audio, video, and a bunch of specialized social media types. Specialized social media types and more. Were I to tie myself too closely to one of those currently relevant categories, I'd be building my personal brand into a box canyon. You can go in, but you can't get out. Here's an example. SEO writer. What's going to happen when artificial intelligence becomes as good or better than a human at creating search engine optimized copy? Believe me, it's coming. I, for one, welcome our AI SEO overlord simply because I find the task so damn tedious. Yes, I recognize its necessity, but seriously, it has more to do with teeth brushing and shoe tying than anything else. And mark my words, SEO specialist today, irrelevant tomorrow. So what's the broader, evergreen, first principle title for what you do? You have to figure that out before doing anything else to craft your personal brand. Okay, let's leave that there. Let's give this a green flag of completeness. Words have, so how many words was that? That's 1958. The next section is 3409. All right. I'm going to have to look at this. It's a long section. I want to be able to read it all. And I'm not feeling like... Oh, I'm not going to do the workbook. Not yet. Well, let's leave it there for a while. For more exercise. Well, I got to look at this whole section. Yeah. So here's what I'm facing right now. The fact that this is the night before American Thanksgiving. I've got family in the house, not too many, because we're being very judicious and careful given the COVID situation. But I don't want to spend a whole lot of time down here tonight. And frankly, earlier today, I went through a bunch of sections in the book, changing it from the blue flag section of, yeah, it's pretty much written, to the green flag, which means that it's been first pass proofed and edited, with another pass to come once I port this over to Microsoft Word. So I think I'm done for tonight, because I've done my work on it. I moved this book forward, but I don't have to kill myself doing so. And so I'm happy to say that that's it for me tonight. Yeah. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every single Monday. All you have to do is search Nonfiction Brand wherever you get your podcasts for free, and you will see this image, the picture of myself in grayscale, black and white, and the words Nonfiction Brand. That's the cover art for the podcast. If you see that, then you know you've got the right podcast. And what I'd like you to do is give it a listen. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to it. You could really help me out by referring it to other people, but the ultimate, ne plus ultra version of helping me out is actually writing a honest review, or an honest review, wherever you get your podcast, because that helps other people find the podcast. So thank you very much for helping me keep this book moving forward, even when I don't want to be working on it. You made me come down here tonight. I curse you and thank you for that. So thanks. That's it for me tonight. I will, of course, be back here tomorrow, because I've only got 37 days left in this entire project. I got to get this book done. And thank you so much again for keeping me honest doing this. But that's it for me tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. But until then, theme music. Take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.